GYMDAD Fitness. Today we have the weigh-in for Anarchy Labs, Ronin. Now Ronin, this one came from us. Obviously this is, I believe, a Paula Nutrition sister company, so under the same umbrella as these guys, and they have a few other products, but this is the first one by Anarchy Labs or by Paula Nutrition that I've ran. And this came our way from HYPERDOSE.com, or the main site. So it goes notnatty.shop, and then notnatty.shop will take you either to there's an option if you go. It's really cool. The owner has been working on it. It's really professionally done, really like comic book like theme. And you can either click and scroll down, go to the pre-workouts, the peptides, and then he also has like the muscle building gray area type of products as well, if that's more your speed. But that brings me to my next point, the HYPERDOSE.com with this Anarchy Labs one. This one right here. So he sent my way, and he said this thing's clumpy, and it's a little clumpy. It's not terrible, but he did not feel right selling the other ones, which is really cool. This is a story I got to tell you guys real quick about this owner of HYPERDOSE.com. It's like, as a reviewer, I never wanted to just review any old company that like was willing to send me free products. Like I'm just some sort of sellout, like just, you know, going to whoever is willing to feed me. I wanted to find someone I believe in. Like I always said, like with work, with playing sports, I want to be led by someone, or in work with someone, not just being led, but being working, doing stuff with people that you would run your head through a brick wall for. Like just anything, friends, the people you choose to be around in life, you should agree with who they are as a person. And I've seen, I always, as you get in the supplement industry, these reviews and stuff, you meet some interesting people, and some really awesome, most really awesome, but some not so much. And, I've really connected with the owner, and he's a great guy. And one of the things he did, I remember when I was doing IRA, I was blown away with how damn good it was. So check that out if you haven't yet. But it was kind of clumpy. And I told him that about the clumps, and he knew the clumps was an issue beforehand, and he let me know. But I told him, like, this pre is so damn good. I think that people are gonna like this no matter what. And I think that you could probably just mark it down maybe. And even that, he wasn't like, he didn't want to have his name behind like a product with clumps, even though it wasn't terrible with the clumps. And so he ended up just reordering all new IR8s, because he wanted to start fresh with his name, because he knew a lot of people were going to be exposed to HYPERDOSE.com through their first purchase going through IRA. So I thought that was a really cool move. Like he's not just looking at the sales and the numbers, but like what people actually like think about him, and the people behind the purchases and stuff like that. And I've noticed that throughout the interactions, he's always willing to take care of the customers. So you want to get behind someone like that. And so I'm putting on for these guys. And so any purchase from this review until they're gone, until I'll have to get over in the time frame. After this review, if you use code GYMDAD and purchase any products on the website with the code GYMDAD, there will be free. There are 4 Anarchy Labs Ronins that are kind of clumpy. It's really not that bad. I'll show it on here. They're kind of like the dry clumps that are in there. But these will be with your order for the 4 largest orders, is what he said, that uses code GYMDAD. So you got to use that code to qualify for the deal. And HYPERDOSE.com, we're going places, man. We're going to do something real cool together. So definitely check out their new website layout. But let's, enough chatter, enough ad read type stuff. I love to, talk people up that have been good to me. And speaking of people that have been good to me, shout out to my wife for this new freaking badass mic. She listened to one review and was like, your sound quality is freaking awful. Like and so for my birthday this year, she got me a mic. I told her, obviously I did the classic husband, like, don't buy me anything. We need to save cash, whatever. It's like, I'm a grown person. If I want something, I'll go get it if I need it. But anyway, she knew that I needed this thing more than I knew I needed it. And so she got me a new mic. So sound quality improvements were all thanks to her. And anyway, let's get into this review of Ronin. Now, I've ran Ronin once so far, and it was a ride for sure. Obviously, we'll get into the effects, but let me get the scale out here going. Now, like I said, it's kind of clumpy, so I can see if I'll get a level scoop for you. And this thing is stout, so I want to warn you too, now that I've done at least one run, that we do not want to mess around with the grammage. So one scoop comes in at 19.89, and this is a 17-gram serving. So definitely have your scale out, because this is one of those pre's that every single gram is going to matter. Because this is one of these ones that does have the capability to kind of knock you out of the park. And the flavor we have on hand, I believe, is grapefruit. Ale came in at 19 and a serving's 18. Or the scale came in at 19, serving 17. So we're going to go 18. Just kind of split the difference between the two. So just so you know, 17 is the serving, 19 the scooper came in at. But we're going to go a gram in between. Just kind of hit the middle line here. And this flavor is, like I said, grapefruit. And I'll drink a little swig. I still gotta wait for the kids to get home before I get to the gym, and this is one of these ones that's gonna come in fairly fast. And it's pretty solid. You know, like it's honestly it's better than a lot of the Apollo Nutrition Pre's that I've had. So I think that if you're thinking it's gonna taste like an Apollo Nutrition Pre, it actually is surprisingly good to a sense. I think about 7 out of 10 on the flavor. And once again, absolutely free Ronin for the top 4 largest orders, and it's just going to be added to your cart or something like that. Just use that code GYMDAD, and we'll get straight into the label breakdown now. So this is a 40-20. So beta-alanine at a whopping 6.4 grams. And just a little heads up, they definitely made this so you could take half scoop and you still won't be shorted. I love that. So it's like they stim you up for 2 scoops, but then the performance matrices are only providing for 1 scoop. So what these guys always do is they provide you the performance matrices that they're still pretty much fully dosed at 1 scoop, but then you do our half scoop for this situation, or you can do the full scoop and get the full stim junkie package and double all the doses. So it doesn't kind of force you into the high stim selection just to receive the efficacious doses. That's what I really freaking love about these guys and how they go about their labels. Tyrosine, 3 grams. Biotin, 2.5 grams. Alpha GPC, 800 milligrams. Beta PEA, 750 milligrams. Araya, 500 milligrams. Caffeine anhydrous, 300. Caffeine citrate, 200. Caffeine malate, 200. So we're looking at 700 milligrams of caffeine between the 3 there. And obviously the 400 is going to yield like the 400 that's going to yield around the 200-ish. So you're looking at just over like 500 milligrams of caffeine. Isophosphorin HCl, 60 milligrams. Estrogen for absorption, 50 milligrams. Nupept, 30 milligrams. And then Alpha Yo at 2.5. Love the Alpha Yo. Love the new 2.5 Nupept as well, or 30 milligrams Nupept as well. You know, for pump ingredients wise, pretty much nothing in here. So we're going to want to stack a pump thing with this. You know, we do have a little bit of performance matrices going on in here, so gotta love that. But we got no problem with stacking some pumps on this thing. No one's ever complained about being too pumped. So a lot of times people kind of like the full stim packages because it really allows them to utilize some of those pump formulas that are just absolutely maxed to the brim. So overall, like kind of the things that stick out, like I mentioned when I read this label, is high caffeine content here. Alpha Yo slaps, comboed with that new pep bubble and loaded Araya. So we're looking at that Araya Alpha Yo blend, which always kind of creates this like synergistic, aggressive, but still optimistic style of a workout. So just a little heads up. Let's get into the effects and then scoring of this one. Time to get into the score breakdown and effects portion of the Ronin. And before we hop into that, I want to mention highstimpreworkouts.com. With every purchase with the code GYMDAD, the new thing this time around is going to be pumps. Tadafil, if you don't know, you got to figure it out because I was like, oh, what the hell? What gas station boner pills for pre-workout? It's like it sounds like ridiculous, but I got some Gym and Tonic, sent me a few for samples, and the blood. Let's just say the blood goes where the blood is needed, and the pumps are insane. So the theme of this one is pumps. So you're going to get a sample of a pump product, and then also a sample of the Tadafil, which if you want the Tadafil for I don't know, I might be pronouncing it freaking wrong. It's Cialis. It's just the generic name of it. But it's from, if you go to the notnatty.shop, it's in the peptides section. So he's trying to, trying to advertise the peptide side of things too as well, which I'm running some of those right now. And those are things we can't just take one time and break down. So it's one of those things you got to have a little bit of mileage before you have some knowledge on talking about them. So that's one of the things it's one of the things I want to get into talking about a little bit, but I feel like knowledge without mileage is bullshit. So I want to like gain some knowledge on it. I've been doing a lot of my own personal research, but eventually you need to be the research and run these damn things for yourself. So I've had a few different ones I've tried out, and multiple times now. And I've given one on the BP157, and just because I had ran that thing for a few years, multiple times. But anyway, so that's the samples for this time around. Make sure the mic's on. We got that going. So we have the Anarchy Labs Ronin. So effects time. So this thing's going to come in very quick with that caffeine citrate right off the bat. With the combo with the alpha yohimbine at a whopping 2.5, like you're gonna get hit with like that, similar to Edge of Insanity, or I'm trying to think of a tweak type thing where you almost kind of start feeling like I feel it in my feet a lot. A lot of people feel it in their hands. They'll start gripping the steering wheel harder and the cheeks and stuff. Like that urgency is just so overwhelming that you kind of like feel it in your body, like in different spots. And you definitely have that come in. It's not as overwhelming as like Edge of Insanity was, but the thing about Edge of Insanity is you had that GABA that kind of offset it bit anyway. So that's going to come in really fast, and you're going to get a little spooked. So I mentioned in the weigh-in, this is an absolutely like stick to the serving for this one. Maybe some of the heavy stim junkie users can up this thing by a couple grams, but this is a no cone scoop zone, this product right here. And but that's going to dissipate. So the sense of urgency is going to come in really, really hard, really fast. You might get a little spooked thinking like, oh man, I don't know if this is my jam, because I was like that both times. But the second time around, I knew that once I got past that initial jolt, that like I would be in straight savage aggression mode with a good sense of urgency, but nothing over the top. So the second time around, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I kind of knew how to approach it after using it that first time. So that's going to be within the 15 to 20. And then after that, you're going to get taken over by this overwhelming sense of just power output, aggression, anger almost, at the 30-minute mark-ish. And funny story of this one, so at the 30-minute mark, I took this thing Saturday morning, had all the kids with me going to the gym, get there, the lady running the child watch was a no-show. So I have to load up all the damn kids, and this thing's hitting me at 30 minutes, and like, you can feel the like I was about ready to throw a weight through the window. I was so angry. I was like, okay, chill the fuck out, Chase. Like this is all good. Like shit happens. So we load up the car, get all the kids home. Then I'm like, okay, my wife's gonna be freaking pissed. I'm already like throwing all the kids at her, and then I'm going back to the gym. But sometimes the wives don't understand. Once things have been set in motion, there's no stopping Ronin. And so luckily she was understanding when I said, listen, I took a slapper today, and I gotta get back to the gym, and I gotta hit the weights. And she kind of like rolled the eyes a little bit. That's a problem for after the workouts. Kind of how I approached it. Like I'll make up for it later in the day with fatherly things and husband actions and things like that. When it was fine, it was a good day. But anyway, so back to the review. So aggression out the wazoo, man. It is just straight bonkers. The workout was insane. Like you were so optimistic though, like you still feel good. Like you're not like angry in the sense of like depression angry, like you're angry in the sense of like you just want to lift all of the weights. This is one of those pre-workouts where like if whatever the hell's on that bar that day, you feel like you're gonna get up. Like this is one of the, you could just keep loading plates on. Like your mindset has changed. This is a mindset flipper. Like if you are this is a pre that if you're like coming in later in the day, and you know it's been kind of a lethargic day, like work was kind of like anxiety free, you're just kind of going through the motions, this is the one to take, because this will slap some sense into you. This will have you so freaking locked in, focused, and aggressive. And that's gonna, like I said, back to the effects portion, I got off on the tangent in the story here, but the 30 to 40 minute mark, and that's honestly, that kind of sums up the experience. The story does really. The second time around, I knew what to expect, so I was like, okay, maybe this isn't a Saturday morning pre, when I'm like, it's early morning, the alpha yo always hits me harder. This is so I ran this one today at by 3:30 lift, 3:30 in the afternoon. Monday, you know, dreary, boring day at work. Today was a deadline day for work, so like most of the stuff's already been wrapped up. You're just kind of dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and pretty lethargic day. I'm like, this is a Ronin day right here. It sure as hell was. It was a tricep day, which I love aggressive pre's for push motions. The triceps, the shoulders, the bench, the great pre's for those types of days. So I just threw some close grip bench in. I threw some of those machine dips, and I love those things with the plate loaded dip things where you push the tricep press downs with the plate loaded. Oh man, I love that thing. And that any type of pre-workout that's aggressive is awesome for those kind of motions, especially the close grip bench, the one that's, I can't remember what the name of the damn bar is, but it's like a big square thing. You put your hands in the middle, right, like this. Like a lot of football players do, a lot of offensive linemen do it, so you're strong in this area. And that's actually why I started doing that, because my brother was an offensive lineman, so I would lift with him, and he would show me like offensive line style lifts they would do. But anyway, so I've always kept that in my arsenal from back in the day when me and my brother used to train together. But anyway, Ronin, man, it is physical, it is aggressive. Be careful. Be careful when you take this one. You got to kind of check yourself. Like, you got to be like, talk some sense in yourself. Like I said, when I got there and that dude was telling me that the child watch was closed, about ready to say, you get your ass back there and watch my kids, because I got Ronin in my system right now and I got to lift. And so you have to kind of like have a little sense, kind of come back to reality, have some presence of mind too when you're running this Ronin. So be careful. Don't let your emotions from the Ronin get the best of you. So overall, how you score this one? I put a new chart. I changed the euphoria from the little smiley face to a straight anger, and I put it off the damn charts because there's nothing like this. This is so unique. Such an interesting one to have in the arsenal. Pumps, there's no pump product whatsoever, but I mean, I still gave it a decent score because like you're so aggressive and so angry. How could you not work yourself into a pump? And overall raw energy, perfect amount of that. Overall sense of urgency, you can't get any better. They nailed it almost too much, almost to a detriment. Almost feel like you could dial it back if you wanted to. I took both times at 1 gram over the serving size. Like I said, I split the difference. It's a 17 gram scooper. I took it at 19 the first time and 18 the second time. The reason I took it at 19 actually took a little bit more because I have the back and forth and taking the kids home, go back to the gym. I was like, I better take another gram just to, kind of lead me through the workout. And it was fine. It was cool. Like I thought maybe it would backfire on me, but it was perfect. So very interesting product. If you like this one, like I said, there's a chance you could get it for free from highstempreworkouts.com. But if you don't want to roll the dice on being one of the winners and you want to just pick it up on its own, I know lots of places carry this one. It's pretty widely available. NutriCartel, code GYMDAD has this one. I'm sure you can get it straight from Anarchy. I don't have a code for those guys. Maybe I'll try to snatch one for you guys. I'm all about saving money and shit, so I could always try to get one of those from Anarchy as well if they hook me up. But anyway, hopefully we can get some more Anarchy Labs products on here and some Apollo Nutrition products on here eventually. I know they're big name products, and that's the reason why I haven't been as urgent to get to these reviews, is because there's a lot of content out there. But anyway, they're fun. They're fun products and they're loaded, so they're good. They're good, things to review and get some more knowledge on. So anyway, like, subscribe, catch me on the next review. Like I said, Ronin's an awesome one. You won't be disappointed, but I don't think this one comes any surprise. A lot of reviews out there on the aggressiveness of Ronin, but it was a fun one. I'll catch you guys on the next review.